Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way morning briefing live. It's Wednesday, October the 19th. I'm Tony Haggerty, as you well know, Haggerty10 Twitter handle, or at Haggerty10 to give it its real title. And I'm joined today once again by Aidan Macdonald at Aidan C. Macdonald Twitter handle, which you're all getting used to now. Good morning, Aidan. How are you? Game day.
Indeed, I'm very good, Tony. How are you?
I'm okay. And the first curveball I'm going to throw you, Aidan, is $64,000 question. What everybody wants to know is, what does the C stand for in Aidan C. Macdonald? Is it Celtic? Is it something completely different? Go on, tell us.
It's actual my middle name, which is Charles. I know
Okay.
probably taking a wee bit of the intrigue away there, revealing that. But
Mystery solved, ladies and gentlemen. It stands for Charles. There you go. I know it was keeping you awake at night. Certainly keeping me awake at night. There you have it. Now, first things first, Aidan. Due to popular demand, you can win an all expenses paid trip for two to Madrid to watch Celtic play in the Bernabeu. We've extended that deadline. It was supposed to be Monday midnight, but it's been extended to Monday, October the 25th. I like the sound of this, Aidan, due to popular demand, which means people are subscribing. It's a fabulous prize. As you can see on the screen, Celtic travel to the Santiago Bernabeu to play Real Madrid in their final Champions League Group F match on November the 2nd, and you and a friend can be there at the match, courtesy of the Celtic Way and Travel Bank Holidays. As you can see on the screen, we're running our best ever subscription offer and prize. And the prize isn't just 2 tickets to the match, it's 2 tickets and 2 seats on a direct return flight from Madrid to Glasgow and 4-star accommodation in the centre of the city. And we'll even throw in a bit of spending money for you while you're over there. Now, what do you need to do to enter the draw for the prize? It's simple, guys. Just hit that subscribe button. As you can see running along the bottom, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, you'll have gotten a form in your email inbox. If you filled that in, you're in the draw. And if you don't subscribe, hit the button. It costs you £6 for the next 6 months. And you'll also get the form and you fill the form in, and you'll be eligible for the draw as well. It ends October the 25th. It's a brilliant prize. It's been extended because lots of interest in winning this prize. Absolutely delighted with that, Aidan. And all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Remove that so you can see us all better there. Now, Aidan, the Celtic bandwagon rolls on to Fir Park. Small jaunt along the road, the motorway. Fir Park it is. Motherwell, the opponents. Celtic looking to book their third semi-final berth at Hampden on the trot, and the cup that they won superbly last year. I guess that is still fresh in the memory of a lot of Celtic supporters. The final where Kyogo scored 2 fabulous goals, but in order to reach another final, they have to take care of business first and beat Motherwell in the quarter-finals in Lanarkshire. Can they do it?
I hope so. Obviously, just for the reasons you've mentioned, that the League Cup does, or the Premier Sports Cup as it's now called, does have a special significance for Ange and this team, given it was the first trophy that they won, and the first one that obviously Postecoglou gained since joining Celtic. So, it's got that wee special edge to it. You always want to win cups anyway, and even though it's slightly different this year because of the World Cup, with the final being after Christmas, in the last few years when there's been successful seasons, getting the League Cup over the line kind of early doors has, I think, played a real part in getting that momentum going in a season. So, no, it's a really, really important game. Obviously, Motherwell will be a kind of tough nut to crack. They've had a couple of decent results recently, including a couple of weeks ago beat Ross County 5-0 up in Dingwall.
Yeah.
So, they obviously did lose to Rangers at the weekend, but before that, they'd been on an okay run. And I think since Stephen Hamill's taken over, he's did pretty well. Obviously, they had a wee bit of a rough start to the season, but he's definitely picked up. So, no, it'll be a tough game, Tony.
I think the one thing about last season was, Aidan, that having come in and inherited a bit of a shambles, that League Cup win really galvanised that Celtic team, didn't it? And the buy-in then, the buy-in kind of came before that. I always looked at that Pittodrie game when they won late on and Jota scored the winner. and everybody was sort of on board. But by this point, it proved that this Celtic team could be winners, and they just never really looked back after that. It had a real galvanising effect on the team, and that's what winning does, especially winning silverware. And Ange Postecoglou, I remember when he spoke after it, and he was really proud. He was really choked with emotion because that's what he'd flown thousands of miles across the pond to do, to have days like that. And I don't think he kind of realised how special it was until the moment, and it kind of hit him, and he was just like, yeah, I made the right decision, And I think the League Cup traditionally for Celtic has been quite a happy tournament. Won it, and certainly in the recent past, and everyone says, it's the first leg of a treble. I don't really see it like. I just see it as it's the first cup of the season to be won, and if you can win it, it sends out a brilliant marker. And I think that's what happened last season. It sent out a wonderful marker for the rest of the Scottish football, and that Celtic were slowly but surely becoming a force to be reckoned with again, and it proved because they went on to win the title. So it is an important trophy for Ange and the boys, and I think that'll be reflected in his team selection, Aidan, because with the best will in the world, I think in everything else, you're defending your trophy. You've got to put a strong team out there.
Yeah, I would imagine it will be as strong as possible. The first team that you can name, Tony. I don't think this would be the sort of fixture that Ange would be potentially resting players. That might be what maybe some managers would do in the past. But I think because of the reasons you've mentioned, the importance of this competition, whether it's in terms of, starting to build momentum, the fact Celtic won it last year, etc., Ange will be naming the strongest team possible, I would think, given the circumstances. So, yeah, it's a big game, but one that I'm excited for. It's always a wee bit different, obviously, when you're playing in the cup compared to the league, knockout football, etc. So, no, it should be a good game.
Now, Aidan, you and I had the thankless task of trying to second guess the manager. We put our teams in on the website this morning. I've just put them into the comment section there, guys. You can have a look. Now, we both went with kind of similar teams, except for two notable exceptions. You brought in Juranovic and Greg Taylor to replace Ralston and Bernabe, and I've kept Ralston and Bernabe in situ because I think that you maybe keep Taylor and Juranovic for Saturday's game at Tynecastle, but the rest are all the same, aren't same midfield, and up front we've both gone for Giacomakis centre forward, Haksabanovic and Forrest either side of him. So, and Moy, Hatate and O'Reilly in the midfield. Now, apart from the fullbacks, Aidan, one of us might get it right. So we'll see tonight about 5 o'clock possibly. But yeah, that was quite interesting, the kind of thought process there. I went yellow jersey, Aidan. I'm a bit of a yellow jersey man. It ain't broke, doesn't need fixing. And I think that team that started on Saturday kind of earned the right to start this game. And then I think you maybe have an eye on Saturday's league game, which is, well, I wouldn't say it's more important, but got to go to Tynecastle and win these kind of games. So that was my thoughts behind it. Your own?
So just firstly, if your team was to start, Tony, I would have no issue with that. Ralston and Bernabe did play really well at the weekend, like you say. My only thinking behind changing the two fullbacks was, firstly, in terms of Bernabe, he's not played a lot of football. So I didn't know maybe the kind of quick turnaround with just a few days between it to be playing 290 minutes or 2 starts even. I didn't know that would be a wee step too far. So that was why I thought Greg Taylor would probably be coming back in, because we know he's
solid.
Yeah, pretty much just plays the majority of the time, so fitness isn't really an issue. It's probably a wee bit closer in terms of Juranovic and Ralston. I just think, given the sort of significance of this game and the fact it's knockout, Juranovic maybe just gives you a wee bit more quality. Obviously, Ralston has been great when he's came in, and particularly we mentioned a couple of weeks ago that St Johnstone game, he was really up to the physical battle, which is probably what Motherwell will try and do. So I would not be surprised if Postecoglou did put Anthony Ralston in, but I think Juranovic might just edge it.
There's another reason that came into my thoughts that it might be a physical battle. Bernabe and Haksabanovic must start tonight, says the retro Celtic. Michael Duffin saying that I think same as the weekend, same as myself. Beach Boy came in and says Forrest won't play 3 games in a week. But he's looking quite fresh, Forrest, I have to say. That's fair enough, but Peg Leg Lonergan, in fairness, Motherwell have done a great job in the pitches like a bowling green. It should suit Celtic style of football. That's another thing that probably could. I reckon that Celtic will be able to get the ball down and play, and then he comes back in and says Seagrease might start. I'm not so sure about that, but he might. You never know. Can never second guess the manager, but I just think that it is going to be a physical battle, Aidan, as you said, and that was another reason why I kept Ralston in the side, particularly Bernabe. I just think he's starting to show a bit of form, and could do with games, getting up to speed, and the more he plays, the more he'll feel comfortable. And I think he's actually done pretty well, to be fair to him. So I just kept him in the side because I thought he looked very impressive against both St Johnstone and Hibs on Saturday. But again, fair enough. But Giakoumakis getting a run in the team, Aidan, we both agree with that. Had his eye in on Saturday as well. 2 cracking goals. The ball across from Bernabe we've spoken about. Couldn't really miss, didn't miss, but that's what he gives you. Retro Celtic coming in and says, really hope Mother will come out and give it a go and make him bath, and Celtic can batter them. John Hill says, play a strong team, couple of goals up, then make changes, win the game first. That's always my thinking as well, the way Celtic play. If they can get their noses in front by a comfortable margin, then you can adapt your team to suit. Pete McGee, Frank Brennan, I've given up trying to second guess Angie's team selection. I wish we could.
Yeah, there's been a few shockers recently, Tony. Admittedly, most of them were by me. Between that and a few of my predictions before the international break, but it is hard to kind of try and predict what Andy's going to do, and obviously we just try and give our thoughts based off how the last games went, etc.
He was asked yesterday at the presser his thought process behind the Kyogo Giakoumakis dichotomy, and he said it's quite interesting. He said he just picks a team, basically saying he was a horses for courses guy. He picks a team that he thinks will be able to win the football match, and that's kind of what I always imagined he would be, and it's kind of the way I think as well. I try and second guess him, you try and get into his minds, but I don't think there's any great secret. I think he just thinks he's more suited to this game. He's more suited to that game. So I think with it being a physical battle, he'll maybe go with Giakoumakis up front tonight. Cup ties are always kind of cut and thrust, and Motherwell, well, the onus is on Motherwell to have a go, or else they'll be out the cup. Bottom line, isn't it? They're at home, so I expect them to come at Celtic.
Yeah, I would imagine that it will be quite a kind of fierce tie the game. And Giakoumakis, you can't really drop him after scoring 2 goals. The only thing would have been if he did maybe had a slight knock, but it sounds like he's okay. So yeah, I'd say there's no doubt in him having to start. And he looks like he's got his eye in, which is good because maybe Kyogo's been struggling a wee bit recently. I mean, we know how good Kyogo can be, and he started off the season on electric form. So, if he's maybe going for a wee bit of a rough patch, it's good that you can just bring somebody the quality of Giakoumakis in. But both of them will be needed across the season because there's going to be so many games. So it's good that Giakoumakis is starting to hit a bit of form. He's going to get a run in the team going forward.
Peg Leg Lonergan says Van Veen is a threat for them. He most certainly is. And the buckled Furby says, guessing the big fella's team selection like picking the correct lottery numbers. Easy for me to say. You're right, that's what it's like. And Podrick Postman says, if Hacks is fit, we should start the same at 11 on Saturday. Keep the momentum up. And he says, we've waited long enough to get a bit of momentum going. The buckled Furby says, same team as Saturday, which was kind of my thoughts as well. And Michael Duffin saying, Motherwell striker Van der Veen is looking good, and he has been looking good. I was watching him on Sunday, and I thought he had a wee bit about him, just lacked a bit of support and players tuning into his wavelength. But you've always got to take care of big strikers, Aidan, who are there to cause you problems.
I think so. I also think he's quite an intelligent footballer as well. He's very good in there. He's got a great strike on him. I think he scored a couple of free kicks since joining Motherwell. If I remember rightly, and he will, not just from a physical aspect, kind of his intelligence of the game will cause problems as well. So it's important that, I think we've both picked Carter Vickers and Carter Vickers and Maurice Jens to start the game. So they'll need to be right on it and make sure they're competitive throughout the 90 minutes if they want to deal with them. So yeah, it'll be a challenge for the centre backs against Van Dien, but a good challenge I'm sure they'll relish.
Yes, indeed. Now, the one blip about Saturday was the concession of a goal. And the reason that I mention that is because Alan Morrison, the wonderful Alan Morrison, and I'll put the link in the comment section there, he's written a piece today about Celtic conceding goals round about the 55th hour mark, that kind of critical mass fatigue and how they can overcome it. It's a very good piece. If you're interested in that, I advise you go onto the website and have a read at it. Alan's always good value. And he makes a decent point, Aidan, about goals being conceded, either just before or just after the substitutes come on. I mean, Celtic conceded both goals against Leipzig after the substitutes had come on in the Champions League. So it's an interesting read. It always is with Alan, and he has his own take and skew on issues. But I mean, it's nitpicking about Saturday that they lost a goal, but I think there's more observations than anything else, Aidan, as opposed to, because it's certainly not a criticism. We can't criticise a team that wins 6-1, but it's an observation on maybe why they do concede goals at a particular junction, a particular time in matches.
Yeah, and it might be a fatigue thing, and Alan will make that point, a lot better than I could. But I think that could be an aspect, maybe the fact the team's running so hard in the first half in terms of pressing, maybe that by the time you're kind of 10, 15, 20 minutes into the second half, they're struggling. So maybe that's why the old free subs thing, Tony, isn't the worst thing. When I was talking about the other day, how it was maybe lacking a bit.
Yeah, possibly.
I know, to be fair. But obviously, at times last season, there was probably maybe some more questions. It might not been around about the exact minutes the goals were going in, but it did look like Celtic were starting to fade a wee bit in games. So I think it's trying to strike a balance. And in terms of the Hibs game, it is just an observation. But as you mentioned, other games like Leipzig, etc., Celtic have went and brought on the substitutes to try and freshen it up. Then they're not on the park very long. Bang, you're losing 1 goal, 2 goals around about that time period. So I think it is maybe something that the manager's going to have to look at longer term.
Yeah.
We obviously know he's not going to change his style of playing. He shouldn't, because it's been very effective. But maybe he will have to just tweak in terms of when he's bringing subs on, etc., to try and counteract that. Or maybe just hope that the players get a bit fitter. I guess would be a possibility. But yeah, it was an interesting article, I thought, when I was reading through it. So
Andrew Galea, Alan is a wise man. I hate to think what he thinks about us, Aidan, off camera. There you go.
Comment.
I don't know. Wise. I'm not speaking about Alan. I'm speaking about myself. yeah. One of those. Retro Celtic comes in and says definite with fatigue around the 60-minute mark. Well, I mean, it's a great talker, isn't it? It's one of those that it's always a brilliant talker. And I'll put also a link to a piece I did yesterday as well on the site, and it's Nakamura Remembered. We spoke about Nakamura on the pod yesterday, and I put another piece in. If you want to remember Nakamura, you can have a wee reminisce about that. Retro Celtic said, Aidan's a wise boy. See, you're a wise boy, Aidan. No, nothing about your old dad here, you know what I mean? That's all that knowledge and nonsense I've accumulated over my 50 years. There you go, all gone to waste, clearly. Thank you, Troops. Appreciate that, Aidan, the wise man. I'll just leave, shall I, Aidan, and let you take over the reins.
It would fall apart, Tony.
I wouldn't quite go that far. But anything else about tonight, Aidan, that strikes you as being, I mean, Aaron Moy, where does he play? Oh, come on. Tony, you're a wise granddad. Here. There you go. Aaron Moy, does he play the same position as Saturday? Because he dictated the play on Saturday, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that was his best performance against Hibs, Tony, to be honest. I would imagine he'll kind of slot in the number 6 role again. Obviously, it will be a bit more physical, but then again, he might have a wee bit more time on the ball, because I'd imagine Motherwell will probably sit in a bit more than Hibs did. So I think he will play a similar role, and I'd probably be looking for him to get near enough 90 minutes again as well, because we know Callum McGregor's going to be out, so it really is. And Haggerty, he is in training, but he's not really kicked a ball since pre-season, so it's really between him and Abdelgard for that position, and Moy's got more minutes under his belt, so I would personally imagine, given that he's started a couple of games already this season, that he will be the man between now and when McGregor comes back. In terms of starting games, Abdelgard will maybe grow into eventually. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be looking to kick on from what he did at the weekend, because he got 2 assists.
He did indeed, yeah.
Really, really impressive. So, yeah, no, Aaron Moy, that'll definitely be something I'll be looking out for tonight, and hopefully can do a job.
Andrew Gillier says, keep letting Moy loose. I think that's quite the thoughts of most Celtic supporters actually after Saturday. And Michael Ross says, Hacks are fit. Yes, he is fit. He addressed that yesterday and said that only Jota and David Turnbull were the ones that would miss out, didn't he? Apart from Carl Starsfeld and Callum McGregor. But he said they were the ones that were closest to fitness when we're going to see Jota back fit. Well, he said he was closer. I was assuming maybe Saturday could see the reappearance of Jota per chance. And then he said that peg leg long against Saturday, because we don't see Jota against Hartsville. I think he was kind of hinting it might be Saturday for Jota. Never gave a time scale, he never usually does. And then Brown Warrior, did you watch Moy in the first half of the Hibs game? He struggled with pace until the game was won and we slowed down. I think that's a pretty contentious take, Brown Warrior. I thought he was bang at it the whole game, and it was his best game in a Celtic jersey, and his pass for Dyson Maeda goal was pretty sublime. It's everybody sees things differently, but I really did think that Moy was up to speed, and he was excellent, Aidan. I think a lot of Celtic supporters felt that chill pill comes in. I was at the game, Moy was class. Now, Brown Warrior's entitled to his opinion, but I would disagree with it in my own particular eye test. I think a lot of other Celtic supporters did their own eye test and thought Moy was terrific. We too, Chill, I agree, says a retro Celtic. Raymond Haddon comes in and says Moy had a great 90 minutes. And Brown Warrior comes back and says, were you watching the first half on dial-up? Good on you, Brown Warrior. You fight your corner, indeed. Aidan, Moy, Saturday, you said there he had his best game in a Celtic jersey by far?
Yeah, I thought he did dictate the game at times, to be honest, Tony, and I thought he was pretty involved in how the match was flown over the course of his time on the pitch. Obviously, one of his kind of criticism since he's came in, even when he's looked relatively tidy, a couple of the things have probably been he's maybe a wee bit too safe in his passing. Another thing was he's maybe looking a wee bit slow, and maybe near the end he might have looked a wee bit slower against us, but that's probably still getting up to fitness. But I thought overall, kind of neither one of those criticisms were really found in his performance at the weekend.
No, I have to agree. I genuinely was really impressed with him, and I wrote a kind of diary piece saying that he might have timed his run perfectly to get into the Socceroos squad for the World Cup, and I think I know he's 32, but I still think he should go. And I think David Ferguson asked us, can Moy play twice in a week? We'll find out. The manager might let you into that secret. Brown Warrior says, great second half, no argument. First half looked like he was towing a caravan to me. I didn't see that, Brown Warrior, but again, that's, as I say, you're perfectly entitled to your take. Eileen Feek says, morning from Blackpool. Good morning, Eileen, how are you? And Patrick Post comes in and says, Ange keeps things close to his chest. Never gave a timeline in Kyogo last season, yet I did refer to that. He won't ever give a timeline on players returning because he doesn't want to be wrong, or told he was wrong. So I guess that's fair enough. I'm all for managers doing that. Michael Duffin be great with Jota and Haksabanovic. Jota on the right side, switching around both wingers will be good. That'll be interesting when Jota does return to the team, what he does. Someone commented earlier as well about Forrest playing 3 games in a week. I've got to be honest, I really like the look of Forrest, and he looks really sharp and eager and keen to impress and kind of making up for lost time. So I fully expect to see him in the team tonight, Aidan.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of in terms of Forrest in the 3 games in a week, that could potentially be an issue. And it might be the case that if Jota's then available at the weekend, that he then comes back in and maybe Forrest starts on the bench in that game. I think tonight, given that he scored a hat-trick and he, looked pretty lively, even in the second 45 as well, the end of the first 45 and the second 45 against RB Leipzig, I thought he was relatively positive as well in terms of his performance. So I imagine Forrest will be involved tonight, and I think these both went for him starting, Tony. So
Yep, we have.
It could be the weekend that maybe Forrest takes a wee step back, but I think tonight he'll be involved.
Yep. Andrew Gray comes in still talking about Aaron Moyes. Just because Moyes doesn't run like a headless chook doesn't make him crap. Pegleg Lonergan says if GG scores tonight, he should stay in the side for Tynecastle. Chilpil, Moy never misplaced a single pass. And Brown Warrior, if everyone is fit in midfield, Moy will be a bench warmer. I'm getting the feeling, Brown Warrior, that you're not an Aaron Moy fan. I wonder why. But hey, as I say, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion, and that's fine. That's what the comment section's for. Jerry Smith saying Forrest must start tonight. That's what I agree as well. Retro Celtic saying Moy's doing a job at the moment. When all fit, he won't start. Well, he's kind of agreeing with Brown Warrior on that. David Ferguson says at Brown Warrior it depends who Celtic are playing against. So, and Brown Warrior says it was 3 years ago and Celtic should have signed him. So, I say that's what the comment section's for. Good, healthy, honest debate there, Aidan, and a wide variety and range of opinions, some of which we both agree with and some of which we don't. Aidan comes in, Feeks comes in and says, thought Moy had a good game last time. Yep, we've just been speaking about that. And Pete McGee comes in and says, the bonus from the fact that we never know who Andy's going to play is that the opposition don't know either. Well, that's another thing as well. Aidan, you're trying to second guess him. And I guess the thing as well is that they have still got a lot of players in depth to choose from, despite the fact that there are a couple of guys out injured.
Yeah, no, the squad still has plenty of options in a lot of the positions, Tony, to be honest. And that does show you how strong it is and how good the recruitment has been over the last couple of years. Obviously, you would always maybe want one extra option in every position, but we know that's probably not going to happen. And I'm sure we'll talk about it at a later date, looking into the January transfer window and what's needed, etc. But yeah, it does show a bit of squad depth in the fact that maybe, players like Kyogo, and I know Maida did score at the weekend, but overall been struggling a wee bit recently. You've got players like Yakimakis, Haksabanovic, etc. that can come in and play. When Jota's maybe he's struggling with an injury, obviously when Callum McGregor's struggling, you're able to Forrest able to come in and be involved, Aaron Moyes there, Abdelgard. So, no, there's plenty of depth, Tony, and that is a positive as well in a sense. Also, you never want to have any injuries, but when players are out with injury, suspension, or struggling with form, this is when you get to kind of see the benefit of your squad and your recruitment.
Yeah. The Pegleg Lonergan comes in and says, who won the Real Madrid prize? Pegleg, it's extended to the 25th of October, the deadline, due to popular demand. That can only mean people are subscribing because they want to win the prize. So get subscribing. You know what to do. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Hit that button. And Pete McGee's coming in with a cheeky wee dig at us too. 10:15 tomorrow, lads. There you go. That's the old 10 o'clock for a 10:15. I think he's saying to us there, Pete, we don't just turn up and fall out of bed and roll onto the podcast. There's preparation gets done for this. I know you might not think it because we try and make it look as smooth and as effortless as possible. Now, right, Aidan, he says, flicking through his notes and making all sorts of noise. But we try and give you the best of our ability when we come on screen, unscripted, unplugged, whatever. But we try and make sure that we we give you what we've got, and we kind of come on armed to the teeth with the retro Celtic. Yeah, you're taking that too far, Tony. Yeah, I better stop that. They're not buying it. They're not buying what I'm selling. But PVG says, I'll be here for whatever time, Tony. That's very kind. Yeah, we always try and aim for a 10 o'clock start, but just sometimes we have some teething problems, some, issues as well with broadband, whatever, and that, right, Aidan? But it's not, as I say, it doesn't just naturally happen. It takes time to prepare the magic, as they say, and I'll just leave that there before the retro Celtic comes in and gives me another verbal kicking. Now, Aidan, can't put it off any longer. Prediction time. Do you want to go first or second? I'll give you that option.
I'll go first, Tony. I'll go first.
Then. Go on, Aidan.
I believe I did say for the weekend just past it would be 2-0 and it was 6-1. So I was wide of the mark again. So I'll say 3-0 for tonight, Tony. That would be a brilliant result. I think away in the quarterfinals of the cup away in Motherwell. So 3-0 Celtic I'll go for.
Oh, you stole my thunder because I was going to take 3-0. So in fact, okay then. In terms of Tenerife and 11 I'll go 4-0 then. All right. So just so that we're different. Eileen Feek says 3-1. Aussie says 5-0. Pragmatic Frank, as always, any kind of win will do. If Tony opened the cupboard, it would be hysterical if Aidan was sitting in it with that picture behind him. Indeed. The cupboard will be open when Celtic win away in the Champions League. That's the deal that we've made. So you know that to be true. 3-0 Andrew Galea. Isaac McQuaid says 2-1. Brown Warrior 5-1. James Campbell 6-0. Pressures off the Champions League. Skull and Bones says 4-0. Yep, Kaiser. Demolition job again. 7-0 to Celtic. Pegleg says good man, Kaiser. Very optimistic troops kicking about here, Aidan. It's I think 420 somewhere. 3-0. Yep, Raymond Harden. Any win will do. Yeah, I guess I think there's an air of confidence exuding from the Celtic fans, and they believe that they'll mount a great defence of the League Cup trophy. Aidan, I think Motherwell is the obstacle that stands in their way just now, but certainly after beating Hibs 6-1, I feel the retro Celtics gets tongue his cheek here, Aidan. No. A goal direct from a free kick would be nice. There you go. Frank Brown says, the only deal you made with us, Tony, we completely had no say in it as well, I think that's the opening of the cupboard he's talking about. Okay, well, I'll throw it over to you guys. I know you'll want the cupboard open as soon as possible, but then if Celtic can't win away in the Champions League, tell me when you want the cupboard to open. I've got nothing to hide. I'm old-fashioned. I keep closing a cupboard. I don't know what the fascination is with it, but it seems to have grown arms and legs, Aidan, since we started doing the pod. What's your thoughts on that, sir?
It's an excellent looking wardrobe, Tony. That's all I can really say. And
I have said before,
I really hope that's Ange's motivation to go and get a victory in the Bernabeu as your cupboard rather than Europa League qualification. So.
I have said before, Arthur Negus couldn't get you a prize for that, and Arthur Negus was an old presenter in the Antiques Roadshow, almost as old as me, but as the Retro Celtic told you, I'm a granddad, so that's an old Dar reference there, I think you'll find. Guys, enjoy the game tonight. Here's hoping Celtic can book their third semi-final place at Hampden on the spin as they travel to Fir Park to take on Motherwell. Aidan, thank you so much. Enjoyed that again. There's 35 minutes gone in the blinking of an eye. Yeah, Toffee, you're getting used to this. Doddle, isn't it? You're finding it easy. But always appreciate you coming on and giving your thoughts. And guys, thank you for your comments. Always enjoy it. Couldn't do it without you. But before we go, I'll flick this up. You've got to subscribe to Be In It to Win It. An all expenses paid trip for two to Madrid to watch Celtic play in the Bernabeu. If you're already a subscriber, you'll have gotten a form in your email inbox. If you filled in the form, you're in the draw. If you're not a subscriber, you can subscribe. It's £6 for 6 months. and you get access to everything on the website and all the podcasts. You know what to do. Hit that button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Thank you very much. It's game day. Excitement was building. There you go. David Ferguson. Imagine how different life would be if Tony had a different camera angle. There you have it. Eh? I really don't know what to say to that. Apart from, we'll wrap it up there, Aidan. We'll say goodbye. Enjoy the game if you can, guys. If you're going, hope it's a wonderful spectacle. And if you're watching it on TV, then hope you enjoy it as well from the comfort and surrounds of your own living room or wherever you're watching it. If you're going to the pub, enjoy that as well. But have a good time, guys. Enjoy it. We'll reconvene tomorrow. And here's hoping that Celtic, as I say, have booked a place in the last four. Aidan, thanks very much. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers, guys.